Hi, everyone. This is Kathy Mason from MasonWorks Marketing here on Conscious Business Zone today with Harrison Klein. And I can't wait to introduce you to him. So I'm going to read a little bit from his About page because it's so much better than what I could say. So who is Harrison Klein? To leaders, he is a time expander, showing them how to recover days and weeks for fulfilling and transformational adventures. To heart-based entrepreneurs, he is a multiplier, increasing business effectiveness exponentially in a way that rings true to their soul's greater purpose. To the rest of the world, he's a thunderclap of power, an innovative game changer with a massive 360-degree vision, providing his global audience with a kind of high energy, high purpose, high impact results that they've been seeking. Known as a leading transformational luminary, which he is, Harrison nimbly guides, mentors, and instructs thousands of people from every corner of the world how to play a bigger game in their lives on a daily basis as they wrap their arms around a fresh new understanding of their spiritual potential. So with that, I want to introduce you to Harrison Klein. And Harrison, how are you doing today?
Sensational, Kathy. Terrific, amazing, phenomenal, outstanding, incredible, awesome, significant, phenomenal, and wonderful, opulent, and resplendent.
Oh, yep. And anyone that knows Harrison knows that that is where he lives. He really lives in this incredible energy, high energy place. And in fact, his website is part of his process. It's I am Harrison Klein. And Harrison, could you tell them a little bit about your I am process and how that might help conscious business?
Sure. Well, I think most of your listeners and watchers and mine as well that are on here and whoever else has come to this interview, whether it be replay or live, basically would understand the fact that everything is twice created, first in the mind before it ever manifests into the physical plane. That there are spiritual dimensions and there are physical dimensions, and that in the physical dimension, that's by quantum mechanics, a series of densified thought, which we experience as matter. In the higher planes, we transcend the material level of things and we go into the subtle energies, which are higher spaces of connection to source energy. And in so doing, basically, we create from the place of our I am. When we identify with, we experience in reality. So when we say I am this or I am that, whatever it happens to be, I'm a great manifester, I'm a great business person, I'm a great, swimmer, whatever the case may be, that is the signal to the universe to basically take that statement that is attached to the I am out to completion. So most people or many people use the I am highly incorrectly because they talk about I am sick and tired of this, I am angry, I am,
Oh, yikes.
which really creates an identification which permeates the matter part of your body. And so you become depression, you become anger, you become whatever, or you become, on the positive end of that, you become a swimmer, or you become a manifester, or you become a great business person. So whatever you attach to the words I am become your reality, almost instantly, but the frequency of that is instantaneous. If you hold that I am for any experiential period of time, if you can hold it for a little while, basically it then starts the manifestation process for it to become habitual. And when it becomes habitual, then you are locked into that for as long as until you change it, but you are locked into that state of mind, which then creates matter from that I am. Creates experiences, brings you people, law of attraction, brings you ideas, brings you circumstances, and allows you to move in between levels of dimensions that are not consciously conceived, so that things are brought to you rather than things trying to come into fruition by effort. So the I am is the two most powerful words in the universe, basically, for earthlings anyway. And when that statement is uttered, whatever that statement happens to be, we become what we say in the I am. So, and that is the governance of all energy. The words I am are the governance of all energy. If you remember the story in the Bible where Moses comes upon the burning bush and he asks God what his name is, God says, I am that I am. And those are
Right,
the words he put into the physical plane for us to manifest from. That's the most creative and powerful creative place that a human being can start from in anything. And it's the easy way to manifest as opposed to the hard way, which is effort
right.
and struggle.
Right, right. Well, several things I want people to know. I was blessed to take a course with Harrison, I think in 2011. And what was so amazing is we were on, I think it was an 8-week course, and I'm not sure what the name was. You might remember what the name was more
The
than me.
alignment factor.
Oh, okay. Well, you had people from all different consciousnesses in this course, and you were able to explain so beautifully and so it was genius how you were able to bring people from beginner mind. They didn't even know what a chakra was. They didn't know what the energy fields were. They might have even been fundamental in their faith, in the religion, and you brought them along to understanding and experiencing transformation, of the quantum. And I was just aghast. Because I want to be a bridge as well, but you are amazing, how you can do that and have people see the way you explain it. I don't know if it's your resonance or, well, how do you do that? It's just amazing.
Well, one of the things about enlightened information or enlightened concepts is that they penetrate deeply into all levels of dimensions. So when someone hears a truly enlightened truth, there is very little resistance to that
Ah,
situation because it's so much more powerful than whatever vibration they're experiencing in the resonance state that they're in. So when you begin to have significant insights that you internalize through the uses of the I am, your growth pattern becomes exponential. So you hear something that really resonates deeply, it starts to roll around inside of your head. You begin to understand it, you internalize it, you integrate it into what you are, and then the next thing you know, you're living at a place of much higher frequency. So it has nothing to do with me. It just has to do with the information being pure. And the beauty of it is that none of us are excluded. We live in an inclusion universe, so
right.
nobody's excluded from the enlightenment experience except by personal
Sure.
choice.
Right.
So and those who make it as a personal choice do that because they really don't know. They are conditioned into something that says no as opposed to saying yes. We're in a totally yes universe. So as
I
we,
get it. I
yeah,
get it,
well,
and
you do.
I love it. So, Harrison, you have, you're members of some amazing international groups. Is that something that you'd like to share a little bit about the
Sure.
okay.
Well, I sit on the board of two organizations. Actually, I just quit the board of a third, but I sit on the board of two organizations. One is called the Evolutionary Business Council, which was my original idea, and then a woman by the name of Teresa de Grosbois, many of you may know, took that idea and ran with it. It came out of a discussion we were having with five of us, and then I had spoken to John DeMartini and John Asseroff, and they were in the Transformational Leadership Council, which was at the time the premier transformation organization on the planet. And they were saying that there were a lot of newbies coming in, and they weren't up to the standards of the the masters that were inside that organization. And so it occurred to me that the young up and comers that were newbies would needed a voice as well, as the standard old guard of what manifestation people like from The Secret were all about. So
Right.
as I proposed that idea, Teresa and Daniel and Jennifer and I believe, I don't know if Joel Young was there. Maybe I think Joel Young was there, but we were all in a discussion basically. And as I proposed that idea, Teresa picked it up and she created this magnificent board and magnificent group of people called the Evolutionary Business Council, which now has a reach of about 215 million people across the planet in multiple countries. And it is about thought leaders collaborating, which is the new currency, basically,
Right.
on the planet. The collaboration is much stronger than the individual direction that we used to hold as the primary ideal space for a human being to be. Uh, and then I also sit on the board of a organization in India called the World United, and First Spiritual World Parliaments. I'm the American delegate to that organization, and that has a reach of 2 billion people in Asia. It's a leadership conference. Their
Wow.
mandate is very unique, and that is to spiritualize all non spiritual industries. So we're talking about politics, education, medicine, technology,
Perfect.
um, whatever, all the different options that have been working on the old premise of, cause and effect into the spiritual level of being all simultaneity, all simultaneity happens, or all things happen simultaneously, so
Yes.
that basically whatever we want to manifest is a matter of the power of our ability to focus correctly and then create leaders through simultaneity and not have to work through the struggle portion. We spiritualize industries and then they become much more effective. Their business processes become more significant. They upgrade their business level and their clients and their customers and their information and their products simultaneously. So as we add the element of love to everything, that quality is felt in resonance with the people who we are connected to or who are interested in our products or information or services or whatever. And that quality of love transmits through all things because basically in the spiritual realm, we're all one and we don't see any separation. We just are the same thing. And so whatever improves one of us improves all of us. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Oh, wow, that is fantastic. Well, I knew you were going to India. In fact, I had asked you when the meeting was this year, but so Harrison, if some of the listeners, I'm going to put, I have your website, but how would some people work with you? I'm sure there's people that will be hearing this, or certainly if any of you that are listening want to ask questions. We do have time for a few questions from the field here, if you want. But Harrison, how is the best way to work with you, or is it mostly in these group trainings or coaching one-on-one?
Well,
Or
a couple of different things. Now, I have multiple different kinds of programs. So, depending upon what everybody or anybody's need happens to be, I probably have something that would address most people on whatever exploration path they're on. So I have one-on-one coaching. I have classes that I teach. I work with organizations. I work with other entrepreneurs, superpowered entrepreneurs, or we create superpowered entrepreneurs. We work with people who are intellectually involved, like coaches and writers and authors and things of that nature. But we also work with scientists and other things of that nature. So anybody who wants a intensification of their mind processes into a genius level. That's what I do. I help intensify minds into genius level so that they become clear and they become significant powerhouses in whatever they do. and improve their relationships, improve their business acumen, improve all different kinds of things. And they can get in touch with me through Messenger, through this is Harrison Klein, or they can get me on Facebook and send me a message that way, or they can go to this website and send me a message through that. I am harrisonklein.com, or I am harrisonkleininternational.com. Um, uh, I'm easy to get a hold of.
Okay. Yeah, I always can find you. That's a good thing. Even with you moving, I really appreciate you meeting with me today, since you just sold your house yesterday and you're moving.
Yeah, we're in
So,
a hotel right now. So
wow.
we are hotel vagabonds and beginning to consider the hotel lifestyle as
Well,
a more permanent way of life.
oh my gosh. Well, I'm sure whatever you do with Marbeth will be an adventure.
Oh yeah,
And I would love again to highly recommend Harrison as a guide, especially through these new energies. Harrison has an ability to help clear the blocks that you have in your field that keeps you from the things that you want. And this is a time of magnetism. This is a time that, rather than push and force, that you can pull things to you if you're a frequency match.
right.
And do you agree?
Yeah, well, part of what we need in order to create what we want, either whether it be experiences or relationships or anything else, is an alignment base. And most people don't understand that the alignment is a very elegant mechanism that allows our frequency to match up with what we want. And by the law of attraction, which says like whatever is like unto ourselves is ourselves. So comes into our experience. So I teach people how to align their frequencies into whatever experience they want to have, and it's a beautiful thing. And we have a lot of super, success stories and testimonials and
Yeah.
great fun together, because one of the things that is one of my basic principles of living is that it's got to be fun. If it's
Yeah.
not fun, don't do it. So if you're struggling, if you're angry, if you're in bad relationships, if you're screwed up by any stretch of the imagination emotionally, or if you just want to have a massive increase factor in what you do, I mean, I can help in those areas. That's what I do. I've been doing it for 42 years, and so I think I've seen
Nah,
most.
not that long. 42 years? You're
Well,
not that.
profession. Yeah. Well, no, I'm not quite that old. I was doing it before as a sperm.
I knew we'd have to get in here somewhere. I haven't totally cracked up yet doing this, but that's the other thing, you guys, is it's so much fun to work with Harrison. The struggle and, oh, let's analyze all this and all of that. You don't have to go through that anymore.
You don't have to
If
go
you
through any of that.
No.
And I was in a parking lot, and this pickup truck pulls up in front of me, and it's like one of these monster pickup trucks. And this old lady, about in her mid to late 80s, gets out, jumps out of the truck, and she does this gesture, says, "Get the hell out of here!" So, that's how I feel about most blocks. We can make things happen in the same way. Just jump out of the pickup truck, get the hell out of here, and be gone.
Yeah, the burdens, you don't have to be carrying around the steamer trunk, in life. You can let that go. That's the good news.
And for
And
those,
it's so wonderful what you're doing with so many people, Harrison, and the gifts that you donate to the international scene and representing us from the US in other
thank you.
countries. That's really, thank you so much for everything you do. I
It's a
just
great pleasure to do all that. So it just is. We're born on this planet to serve each other. So that's one of the things that happens, and we get joy in that service. So the greater we can help other the greater becomes our own joy. And, I'm in a place where I'm in a very steady state of well-being, and fun and humor are basic fundamentals to what I do. And the more fun you can have, the more effective you are, because everything manifests through the brighter emotions,
Yes.
not through the darker ones. So
Yes.
you can manifest through the darker ones, but that only makes you darker, and the tunnel gets darker, and the doors slam on you. When you come manifest through the brighter emotions, all the doors open and open and open and open and open.
Right. Right. Well, and I have a new program that I've been working on that's called Mindful Marketing Magnetism. And it's aligned with everything that you're saying. The idea that everything, when you're on a certain frequency, it's,
It's
it's,
automatic.
it can't help but come into physical. It can't.
Right. It's by
So,
law.
right. Right.
Never
But
has
you
specific
need the
laws.
clarity, I think, don't you?
What's that? What
You
about
need the
clarity?
clarity. So
Yeah,
that's a lot of times what the block is not making a choice, not choosing
that's one of
and
the.
getting
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, the more specific and detailed you are about what your vision is, the faster it comes into being. And
right,
if you
right.
can emotionalize it in the specific details of it, you will, in point of fact, accelerate the manifestation of that situation. So, um, the truth is that by the time you actually um, see a manifestation, it's already been inside of your mind and rolling around in your physical energy for probably 1,000 different thoughts of that situation that are not conscious before it ever becomes conscious. So, so the more we understand that manifestation happens as the last portion of the invisible process until it's visible. 99% of it is in the invisible stage, like a baby being carried in pregnancy. You don't see that baby, and it's not considered born until it's into the, out of the mother's womb. And the same thing is with manifestation. So, if you understand the process of coming from the invisible place, and, making an idea pregnant, or a situation that you want to have happen pregnant, and it develops inside of your mind for X amount of time before it ever comes into the physical plane. But if you know the process, if you understand the laws by which that govern that situation, it absolutely accelerates the process in a dramatic level, and it removes the limitations onto where you go. So it then doesn't become unconscious or subconscious, and by default, it becomes something that you deliberately desire and deliberately put into effect. So, and then
Wonderful.
bam, your life is the way you want it. Isn't that something? Isn't that fun?
Yeah. How about that? Be your own creator, take responsibility, not be a victim. How about that? Right?
Yeah.
That's so cool. So, Harrison, I would like the audience to know about the Masters Gathering. Even though it was a while ago, that's, I think, where I first heard about you or saw you online. Would you share a little bit about the Masters Gathering, and then we can
Yeah.
wrap it up. But
Okay. I was a pioneer in the telesummit area. What happened was that as I was moving, I worked in the financial industry and in the education industry for I don't know how many, 23 years before I decided to come into the internet process. So when I decided to come into the internet process, I said, well, what is the most effective way we can reach people who want to become either wealthy or better off in some other fortune or some other way? And so it occurred to me, the first Masters Gathering was an aggregate of 12 different individual uh, multimillionaires, and the idea was to teach people how to make $1 million from 12 different perspectives, 12 different angles. So one person took the millionaire lifestyle, another person took millionaire responsibility, another person took millionaire marketing, another person took, millionaire mindset, another person took so on and so forth. So we aggregated 12 of the most phenomenal people, thought leaders on the planet, and we had them describe their processes and how they made their millions or their million or whatever the case may be, and teach people how to make millions of dollars. And that in itself created several millionaires.
Wow.
But the process in itself. And then we extended that out into live seminars, and we did other things like that. So the Masters Gathering was about, putting together the people who were masterful at particular issues and particular topics and particular categories so that they could teach in a significant fashion the perspectives that they have that created the results that they have lived by and taught by for, to get to wherever they were at the time. So that was the
It,
Masters Gathering.
is it still available, Harrison, or
Well, the
it
Masters
used to
Gathering
be?
itself now is no longer available. The website is sort of defunct. Some of the I still have some of the recordings from it, but they're on a hard drive. They're on an external hard drive now. We've moved on to a number of other things, and we are revamping at this particular point the entire global educational system. So,
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, so we've gathered a number of super masters, Nobel Prize winners, and super financial people in the billionaire area, and also championship athletes and a number of other different people that will mentor people into super high, as I said, intensified genius levels of mind. So,
Wow.
so that's an extension of the Masters Gathering of what we're doing.
Is that coming in 2019?
It is coming in 2019, absolutely.
Yay. Well,
Yeah.
you'll have to keep us posted. I definitely think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
This whole section of time feels like it's upgrade and empowerment and actualizing people. It's really exciting times to be alive.
We're in a transition. The last 7,000 years of humanity on the planet has been, the purpose of it has been to teach the species how to survive on the material plane on this planet. How to make survival comfortable, which separates us from some of the other animals because of the thought process. But now the needle has shifted into the exploration of consciousness. And so what is opening up now is the energy is speeding up. It's more intensified in terms of quality, and it's the exploration of what is our connection to all things. And as we explore that, we each become much more powerful because this spiritual world that really controls the physical world. There is no physical world without first coming through the spiritual world. So as we understand spirit, as the behavior of spirit and the laws of the universe and things like that, it opens up a whole new exploration in consciousness, which then becomes the most exciting journey of humankind to date.
Yeah.
And it's a whole different paradigm than the last 7,000 years. We're going into a whole other place of where humans are going from Homo sapien into Homo Illuminati or
Right.
Homo Luminous.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
where everything lights up correctly, and in the lighting up of the process, the entire species becomes, and we're not too far away from that. The entire species will become enlightened, and all the crap that's coming up right now is the purging of all the darkness that
Right.
is the residual, so that we can, in point of fact, all experience the higher states.
Wahoo! And we hope that happens sooner than later. But oh, thank you so much, Harrison. Again, right before we sign off, could you give everyone a way that they can contact you and get a hold of you, please?
You can reach me at www.iam Klein, Klein, .com, or I am Harrison Klein International.com. Either one of those is fine. Or Facebook or Messenger, or you can call me Ray, or you can call me Joe, or
Just call me.
just call me. All of it.
Well, I am so blessed to call you my friend. And so I thank you. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. And I hope to see you soon.
That feeling
Okay?
is mutual. That feeling is mutual, Kathy. And thank you for everybody that's on the line. And have significant, sensational, outstanding, incredible, awesome, resplendent, and opulent holidays.
Thank you, dear. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.